how good your computer is. But have you ever buy a computer because it's powerful and fast? The first thing you say, how's the operating system? Would it give you a lot of problem? And also, if you have ever had a viral attack on your computer, you know that you never want to deal with somebody who dumped virus in your personal operating system. So, what are we afraid of? Well, we're afraid of people who are unkind to us, unfair to us. We're afraid of people who are rude to us. We are afraid of people who are unwise, so that they get you in trouble. We are afraid of people who lie to us. We are afraid of people who betrayed us. We are afraid of people who are cowardly, so that when you need them to support you, you don't see them around. And we are afraid of people who are corrupt, because they can get you in trouble. Right? They get corrupt, they say it's okay to corrupt, then you corrupt, you become corrupt, then you shameless. Now this is a very when I talk to foreigners, they have sins, particularly Christians, Hebrews, Islam. It's sin, but Chinese has no sin. You know, nobody ever say it was sin. But we don't do things because we bring shame to ourselves personally, and we bring shame to our family or our group. Now, that is what separates us from the foreigners, from the Westerners. Unkind to the elderly, because people who are unkind to us, we know that one day we will be old. So we don't want people that be unkind to the elderly, because we're always watching this and say, if he or she can do it to him and her today, he can do it to me tomorrow. People who are unkind to young, because we know that we're going to have sons and daughters that will need people to take care of them. We're really afraid of people who continue making the same mistakes. They never change. Yeah? And then you do something to to them, and then 3 months later they remind you. And then 6 months later they remind you. They don't forget you. This is what we Chinese say, we Cantonese at least say, 秋後算賬.秋後算賬. Don't forget. Right? So, those are the things that we are afraid of. What do you think other people are afraid of? Surprise. These are the things that my grandmother taught me. The same thing. These are the things that other people are afraid of. I put the Chinese on here because my grandmother, who is in heaven, does not read English. But this is what Confucius actually string it all up. It's 13 things that he string it all up. And say, if you want to be a leader, these are the things that you shouldn't do. But what he said was, you have to be kind, you have to be fair, you have to be polite. I turn it around and I say, you can't walk around and say, I am fair, I am polite, I am kind. But you just catch yourself at particular times. Don't be unkind, don't be unfair, and don't be impolite. Right? And don't lie, and don't be disloyal, and forgive. So, that's basically that. Come to a conclusion is, when you go out and start working, people will hire you for what you can do. They will respect you for who you are or what you are. But they will trust you only if they know you will never do anything to hurt them. If you want to be a leader, you cannot afford to push away followers. So, viral POS repel followers. So, leaders cannot afford to repel followers. Who are the followers? When you started your company, the staff you recruit. your customers, your suppliers, your investors, and your creditors. But actually, even before you started the business, your friends, your classmates. You look around now. I will guarantee you from today on, you would look at the whole world differently. You will look at all your friends differently because you start asking, well, can I trust that guy? Why I hang around with him, but I'm always a little bit uncomfortable. Right? But if you can do that to other people, then other people is doing that to you as well. So leadership is all about trust. So people don't love virtues, but they really hate viruses. Okay, now we go back to DHL journey. Remember the hostess at the airport? The other part of my girlfriend? Well, she's sitting over there. We've been married. Stand up, take a bow. We've been married 35 years. Right? So I continue with DHL. I got married. I went back to Stanford Business School program. And then we start having our family. And then in 1989, we started our foundation. We call it the Paul and Helen Chung Foundation. Then I went into community service. Then in 1996, I start planning my retirement. And in 2001, I sold my company to the German Post Office. It comes a big circle. 1973, Post Office tried to kill us, and eventually we sold our company to German Post Office. And also, the thing that really made me happy was at one time I was the biggest individual shareholder of the German Post Office because the rest of them were institutional investors. And then in 1905, I became a professional painter. And now I make my income as a professional painter. I sell my paintings if I can sell them, when I can sell them. And then I launched something called the Good Life Foundation, which is teaching people how to move from a second age to a third age. You guys are on the first age. First age is learning how to make a good living. Second age is making a good living. Third age is living a good life. Living a good life is live where you belong, with the people you love, doing the right thing on purpose. So my purpose now is to share my life experience, particularly on entrepreneurship, with younger people. So I do that at Hong Kong University, and I co-author a book with Dr. Simon Yip, and we talk about startup. Startup is like the first 10 yards of a race of a relay. But in a relay, only the first person needs to know how to get down, set up the block, get down, get where the finger is, and then go set, and then listen to the gun. And when the gun goes off, you run and get up at the same time. There are things that only the first runner need to know. And that's what we teach is when you have one, yourself and a secretary or a partner, a lot of business schools do not know how to teach that kind. So what else do we teach? We teach what the entrepreneur, the startup entrepreneur really have to think about. He has to think about who, what, who else, where, how. We talk about the founder.